being able to display things and get creative and take a boring sim room and turn it into this kind of wow factor and making it more personable for you is it's really the next level thing to do. So if you want to make your sim room go from this to this, then stay tuned.
Second flight, but we first in vibe. GS Pro got us feeling alive. From leagues to tours, yeah, we never fade. Sing of kings in the nights we made. Hey.
It is time to take your sim room to the next level with floor projection. So first off, with floor projection, there's a few things that you need. First, you need another projector. So I will drop a link into the description of the one that I have. I purchased from Amazon. It's sub 150. I got really lucky. It's super bright. It's not a short throw, but it casts a pretty big image and takes up majority of my floor. So that's the one thing you kind of want to think about. What's your ceiling height? What's the throw? How big of an image do you want? And will it create enough space for you to work with on your projector? The second thing is brightness. The brighter, the better. If you're in an environment with ambient light or you want to have the lights on, obviously you want a brighter projector. So just keep that in mind. OBS. We're going to have to download OBS on a PC. The third thing is we're going to need HDMI or DisplayPort cables. So on your PC, whether you're using a laptop or a desktop obviously is going to be better. OBS does take up some CPU. So if you're running your sim software, Spotify, other things, plus OBS, be prepared for it to take up a lot of resources. So obviously desktop's going to be the best thing. If you have an HDMI or a DisplayPort available, that's what you're going to do. So if you have a DisplayPort available, then what you're going to want to get is an HDMI cable with a DisplayPort active adapter. If you have an HDMI port available, then it's just simple. It's HDMI from your new projector down to your PC. Let's look at how we download OBS. Right, so we are going to Google OBS. Should be the first thing that pops up. You're going to click on Open Broadcast Software. From here, you're going to navigate over to Downloads. And it's pretty easy. If you're using Windows, it's going to be right here. You're going to hit the download installer. If you're using Mac or Linux, obviously you're going to have to scroll down and do a different download link. But for Windows, you're going to click download installer. As soon as you hit that download installer, it's going to send it up here. You're just going to click through and navigate through that download. It's no zip file. It's super easy. Once you run everything, it's going to add the icon to your desktop and auto launch. All right, so once we have OBS downloaded and we open OBS, this is what the software will look like. And if you don't know much about OBS or how to do scenes and sources, I do recommend that you watch a video that I posted earlier in the year of how to add sources and scenes, or just YouTube any type of video or quick beginner's guide to OBS and how to create scenes and add sources. We'll go through it as we're building our floor projection. So if you just follow along, you'll be able to kind of have a beginner's guide as we're going through. So the first thing we're going to do is you're going to have a scene here. We're going to right click that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a scene up here. We're going to right click that and we are going to want to rename it, as I already did, floor projection. Okay. If you don't have one, you can hit the plus sign, add it, and then rename it. All right. So really floor projection is what you want it to be. I am a huge component of not a lot of clutter, not a lot of things on the floor, but enough to make it a wow factor and make it useful but not clutter. So I want it to be clean and I want everything to be symmetrical, but I don't want to just throw logos all over the place. So first thing that we're going to do is we are going to create our hitting box. And so with floor projection, the main reason why people want to do it is you want a spot to show people where to hit the ball from. If you're using a floor launch monitor, floor base, then the hitting areas are not as big. So maybe you want to show people where to put the ball at. So let's kind of step through going through the hitting box first. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add the hitting box. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the plus sign down here on sources. We're going to go to color. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a color, and it's just going to be white. It's going to take up the whole canvas. So we're going to want to resize this. Guys, there's 3 ways to resize the boxes on OBS. And this is the biggest part. I want to talk through this first because as you start seeing me add more sources, it's going to be rinse and repeat. It depends on where you're grabbing it from. Is it going to be from your sim software? Is it going to be from the internet, like we're about to do? Is it a logo that you've created? So depending on where you go get the source is going to be different. But how you put it into OBS and how you resize it is all the same. So let's talk through the first 3 or the 3 ways to resize. So the first one is you can grab the corner and you can just resize the entire image. It is going to keep its resolution from a standpoint of its rectangle type shape, kind of that 16:9 image. It's just going to make it smaller and bigger, as you can see as I drag this. Okay. The second one is going to be you can manipulate the sides or the top. You can make them longer or shorter. And now you can manipulate the image. If you hold down the shift key and then I drag this, you can see it's just changing the X axis. That's it. Conversely, if I go up top here and I hold the shift key and go up and down, it is changing the Y axis, so to speak. Okay. The third thing, and what is really, really important when we're doing floor projection, is how to crop. So if I grab this side right here, and it's going to look a little weird, you're not going to be able to tell because it's a white image. But if I hold the Alt key, you'll see that this side is coming in and it turns green. So what I'm doing is everything out here has been cropped. So if there was an image, let's go back to full. If there was an image right here, it would be cropping it out. And so you'll see that as we start adding snippets of our sim software. In our case, it's going to be GS Pro. So first things first is we're just going to create this hitting box. Okay, so that's just going to live right here. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to put an outline on this. I think this is really cool, and it's just an added factor. What we're going to do is we're going to go back here. We're going to go and we're going to Google your favorite color. So what we're going to do is we're just going to Google, we'll say blue. So blue outline. And it could be any of these. So it doesn't matter what the background looks like, and I'll show you why. So let's just go ahead and we're going to click images. Let's just grab, we want one that's kind of, all right, this one right here. So it's kind of glowing. Let's grab that one. And we're going to save this. So save image as. We're going to put this in our downloads and we're going to put outline box. Okay. So that's saved. We're going to go back to our OBS. We're going to hit sources. And then remember, we saved this image. So we're going to save it as, we're going to hit sources. We're going to click image, add new image. We're going to browse in our downloads and we should see outline box. Okay. And you may not like this one. This is just one I grabbed quick. All right. So the big thing about OBS is you can layer things. So what we're going to want to do with this is we're going to want to move our hitting box up above our image. So now our hitting box is above. We're going to rename this hitting box. Oh. And we're going to rename this outline. And so what we want to do now is we want to use what we talked earlier, shift key, I don't like how thick that's going to be. So I'm going to just use the outer ring of this outline. Try to get it symmetrical. And so I'm using the shift key. That's all I'm doing. So now I have a blue outline of our hitting box. Okay. Now, because I don't want anything to happen with these, OBS 101, I'm going to lock them. Okay. So now I can't do anything with them once they're locked. If I want them to disappear, all I got to do is hit the eye. So if you have a logo on here that you want when some people come over, you can go ahead and have it on here. You just hit the eye and then make it visible or not. All right. So we're going to make sure that these are locked. And the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click and then I'm going to hit shift and I'm going to click on that one. So I highlight both of them and I want to group these. And the reason why I'm grouping these two only is because now when I want to resize them, it'll do it by itself. I mean, it'll do it together. So I don't have to worry about doing what I did earlier. All right, so now our hitting box is complete. We're just going to leave this over here. All right, let's do a putting line. Same thing. We're going to do white dashes. All right, I use this one pretty frequently, so we're going to actually save this image. And we're going to name this one putting line. I already have it, so I'm going to do 2.0. And we're going to put this on our downloads. All right. We're going to come back to OBS. Same thing. Add source. Add image. And this time we're browsing for putting line. We're going to hit OK. And this is where we're going to grab our tools from earlier and we're going to crop. So we're going to use this line right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold the Alt key and we're going to crop down till we have just that line. So this is going to show up as a putting line like that. Don't worry about the background. That's not going to be seen on the floor as we get to that point. All right, so now we have a box and a putting line. Let's start adding some of our sim software stuff. One thing to note too is you're not going to drag this window onto your projector once it's installed. You're doing this on your normal primary monitor. Because what we're going to do is we're actually going to send it to that projector at the end, and I'll show you how to do that. But now, as we're adding these images, you're going to want to make sure that you have your sim software loaded. So again, we're using GS Pro. So what I've done is I've went ahead and loaded GS Pro, clicked on a course to play, because that's what I want to grab. I want to grab when I am playing, because we are going to be grabbing images and snippets from our display, and we're going to be added in here. And so there's two different ways to do that. I'm going to show you both. One is going to be game capture, and you're just going to be adding quite a few of those. The only problem is you can't really rename them. So you're going to have multiple. And so if you want to resize it, it gets a little tough. That is in less CPU way. If you're on a laptop, then you're definitely going to want to go that route. Adding game capture is easier on your PC, so to speak. If we do display capture, you can add as many display captures as you would like, including the same one over and over, and you can rename them. So it does keep it clean from a standpoint of you can name each individual snippet, so you know which one to move. However, it does take a little bit more it adds a little bit more to your CPU because you are taking a display and you're putting it into OBS. So it is a little bit more demanding. So if you're on a laptop, I would probably go game capture standpoint. If you're using a desktop and if you have a high CPU and a high graphics card, then you're going to be fine doing either one. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to add source. We'll select game capture, add new game capture. We're going to hit this drop down. We want to select and capture a specific window. That window is going to be GS Pro. We're going to hit OK. So it's going to make GS Pro really big. We're going to have to resize this as we spoke earlier. We're going to And guys, if stuff's not locked, like I have it there, we need to rename this cutting line. And we're going to lock that so I don't accidentally move it. All right. So Alt key to crop. We're going to crop there. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Crop to there. And sometimes when you're cropping, it is easier to make this image bigger once you get to a certain point. That way you don't leave the little, the background. You want it to be just that image. There we go. Now, once it's that, we can let go of the Alt key and just resize it. And we're going to just put this right here for now. Now, I cannot add another game capture, okay? Because I already have one. The one thing I can do, if you want to go this route, is you can right-click, copy, and then right-click, paste. It's going to add the same thing. And what I do from there is I just uncrop it. And then I'm going to show you the other way in just a second. So now let's uncrop this by holding our Alt key. I am searching for the course and the name. So we're going to move this image around, continuing using the crop key because everything is cropped until I find in the top right, and you can look at your impact screen to see where it was going to be. All right, now we are going to get the course name. Because I want this on the floor. And so I'm just going to show you how to put, and guys, I do these remotely. So I've set up floor projection remotely for people, I don't know, 20 plus times. This is just the most common type things people want. All right, so we're going to let that live there. I'm going to use the shift key to make it a little skinnier. That way it matches. All right. Now I'm going to show you how to do the other way. Shift key to bring that out because we want this to be just be symmetrical, and we'll play with it a little bit later. All right, so now we're going to get the ball data. So if you want ball data on your floor, this can be from the sim software. If you have a second screen, so if you're using Proti Labs, VTrack, Unicore, any of these that have an actual software on a second screen, you can do that as well. But for this for this one, we're just going to use the ball data from GS Pro. So this time I'm going to do a display capture just so you guys can see how to do that. So we're going to select display capture. We're going to keep that automatic. We're going to switch this display to the actual display that you're using. So in my case, what is projected to my actual impact screen is the Optoma. We're going to select that and hit OK. And then from here, it's the same thing. We're going to drag and get this image smaller. Okay, we want this ball data on the right-hand side. So we're going to Alt key, crop down, Alt key, crop up, and crop like that. And we want to make this bigger because I can already see some edges. So no key, no shift, no Alt. Make this bigger. I can see this edge needs to be cropped just a little bit more. All right. So now we can leave that here. And what we can start doing now is we can start kind of visualizing what this will look like on the floor. So what we're going to do next is we're actually going to send this to the projector that's on the floor. All right, to actually send this to your projector that's facing the floor, remember, you're not going to move this entire window. You're not having OBS on that projector. You're going to keep this on your main primary computer. You're going to right-click floor projection. You're going to go down here and you're going to hit Open Scene Projector. You're going to have a list of projectors or displays that are connected to your computer. In my case, I have 4 different displays. The projector that I have in the ceiling face down is the MStar demo. So I'm going to select that and it's going to throw it down to the floor. Let's check it out. So as you can see over here, we're going to put a camera down on the floor so we can kind of see how we're going to move this around. All right, so first things first, let's make sure we get our putting. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we unlock everything. All right, we're going to move our putting there. We're going to move our box right there. We need to resize this a little bit. And again, this resizing, we're going to hold the shift key. You want this to be, honestly, the size that you would want. I mean, I like it to be the entire hitting strip. So I have an overhead launch monitor, so as far as like the zone, it's totally fine. We'll just leave it there for now. And you can see the putting line. I want to make this longer. I'm going to hold down the shift key and drag that all the way to the edge. All right, so we have a putting line that's a little bit longer. All right, I want this to live up here. I do want to make it bigger. You're going to start seeing these things take shape on the floor. Okay, let's go ahead and grab our box, our ball data. We're going to put that a little smaller. That way it's at the edge. All right, so that's just a few things that we have on here. Let's say we want to add a logo, so let's do that. We're going to go ahead and go to add source as we have before. We're going to go to image. And we are going to add new image. All right, I'm going to do my socials. So we'll add that. We're going to hit OK. Again, it's going to be one size. Let's make sure that we lock what we have in place. We don't want anything moving. Again, we're going to hit these locks. And we want this to live. Let's turn it. Let's turn the image. See the hand pop up. And let's put this right here on the concrete. So it's a little bit out of view. And there we go. So now we have socials on the floor. All right, so that's what it looks like. Just kind of adding different things to your floor projection. Couple quick notes, guys. You just got to remember when you're hanging this floor or when you're hanging this projector, as you can see at the bottom of this canvas, I want, as a right-handed golfer, I want the bottom of the canvas to be at the the very edge of my hitting strip or wherever I'm going to hit. And that way, everything forward or in front of me, I have all this canvas to work with. So anything in this black canvas right here, this 19 by 20 will be shown by the projector of some sort. So I want to be able to have the hitting and the putting at the lower end. That way I have everything on top. I have plenty of area to add stuff, whether it's logos and whatnot. All right, guys, that's how you do floor projection from the start to finish. What you need: projector, OBS, HDMI cable, or display with an active adapter to HDMI. How to add scenes and sources, where to grab imagery from, and how to create this really awesome kind of wow factor with floor projection in your sim, guys. I hope you appreciate the video. Please give it some hype. Give it a thumbs up. Give it a like. Give it a subscribe. On the next one, I am going to show you how to add sources and be able to automatically toggle them on and off. So when a ball rolls into your hitting area, we can make things disappear. Once you hit it, we can bring them back. That's going to be advanced, and that's going to be on the next one.